Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Healing is Power. I pray that you guys are doing well out there, taking care of yourselves, and being the best version of you each and every day. As always, you guys can find Healing is Power on the following platforms. Of course, YouTube, like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Today, I have a very special guest, Ms. Stacy Nye, who is the co-founder of the Fix Code, and I'm going to bring her on right now. Hello.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you for coming on Healing is
Very good.
Power. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So I want to really dive right in, talk about the Fix Code. I've done a little research on it myself, but I would love for you to, of course, break down what is the Fix Code to the listeners out there.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. The fix code is actually a technique that gives us our peace back. It removes and disconnects all those horrible feelings that you are living with every day or struggling with or trying to like navigate your life through sadness or hurt or betrayal or any of those horrible feelings. And it also works on fears too. So, if you're afraid of failure or you're afraid of confrontation or, fear of getting hurt or all those kinds of things, this technique disconnects all of those horrible feelings so that you actually get to spend your day focused on what you want to focus on. Being happy, getting excited about your life, spoiling somebody or whatever it is. But we don't really ever get to get to that spot, or we don't, if we do get to it, we don't spend a long time in it because we're either overwhelmed or we're upset about something, or our feelings have been hurt or something like that. So it's this technique allows us to disconnect all of those horrible feelings so that we can feel great every day. Yeah.
Wow. So how does this work? Is it like hypnosis that you do? Like how does it work?
So there's definitely some NLP in it. Some of it. There's some hypnotherapy in it. The creator and founder of the actual technique, the gentleman that created this technique, Daniel, is a master hypnotherapist, master in NLP. So he's got an incredible longevity in this arena and in this field. So when I met him 15 years ago, and he did the work with me, he used the technique that he designed and created on me, and the profoundness of how it worked was just like, what just happened? Like, holy smokes. And my first extraction was sad. And after he did the work, and again, it takes 5 minutes. The work doesn't take very long. And yet it is profound. Yeah. And it lasts forever. So when I opened my eyes, I couldn't believe that feeling sad that I'd only felt moments ago, so profoundly and very like a tsunami of sad. I couldn't feel it. I could see the memories. I could see why I had felt sad, but I couldn't connect to the feeling of sad at all. And it was the most profound experience, because one, when I opened my eyes and I was in this space of that quantum healing, I opened my eyes and I said, I don't know what you just did, but I'm going to figure out what you just did, and I'm going to teach the world how to do this. And I didn't even know his name. I didn't even know his name when he said when he did the work with me. So I immediately saw an incredible business opportunity and my purpose. I literally walked right into my purpose without knowing what had happened. And from that moment on, it's been an incredible journey, because I have healed with this technique. Daniel worked with me and really helped me navigate through a trauma that I had gone through, and gave me my life back, the happy one, the one that was manageable and fun and clear and peaceful. And then I figured out what he did, and then we put together the online training, and we've been teaching people ever since how to do it. So yeah, it's been pretty fun.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. It sounds awesome. How long have you, I'm not sure if you just answered that, forgive me, but how long have you been doing the fixed code?
So I met Daniel about 15 years ago, and he worked with me first, like, because I didn't want it to just be the placebo effect of I want this to work, so I'm going to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
And I also wanted to know whether he could teach it, whether we could figure out what he did, and could anybody learn how to do this. So because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not from this industry, I mean, when I met Daniel, I owned a gymnastics club. I had a 22-year career with the Olympic Games prior to that. So like this wasn't my industry at all. Like I didn't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first kind of year and a half, 2 years, he actually just worked with me. Like I put him in front of thousands of people,
Mm-hmm.
just making sure that it worked with everybody else too. But I really did heal from this technique. And then around that year and a half mark, I said to him, maybe 2 year mark, I said, okay, teach me how to do this. Like if you can teach me how to do this, then anybody can learn how to do this. Cause like, I don't know what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
I have no other background in any of this. I have no other modality at all. So he taught me how to do it. And then my girlfriend said, okay, I'm going to put some friends in a living room and we're going to see if you can like do this. But all of my friends said, Stacy, you're going to be so good at this. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm. And then I did. I just kind of, there was this group of women in a living room one night, and I just kind of did the work, everything Daniel had taught me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they all at the end of the night said this was one of the best nights of their lives. They couldn't feel all those horrible feelings anymore. They were totally prepared to go and have that hard conversation or whatever was going on with them. They felt total freedom and confidence to be able to go and do exactly what they wanted to go and do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was kind of the start of my own private practice, which again, didn't see coming. There was no plans of doing that. But I also then thought to myself, if I can make a business out of this and I can actually make money at it, then that's kind of cool. So again, it was all in this kind of process. It was all very organic. It wasn't really thought through. And then I ended up with this incredible private practice, which I still have to this day, but it just kind of exploded. And it's proof that you could learn the fixed code and then just have a business of just doing this if you wanted, or you could, roll it into other modalities and into your private practice that's already existing. So that's very popular too. People do that a lot. And then, of course, I shot my mouth off again. And one of my clients said, okay, Stacy, I want to learn how to do this. And I was like, uh-oh. Now I really have to like do what I said I was going to do. And I put an email to all of my clients and just said, hey, we're thinking of teaching this. Would you be interested? And it was full in an afternoon. Like it was 25 people because I put it out there as 25 people thinking we might get a couple people. It was totally full in an afternoon. And that was it. And we taught 25 people how to do this in a live event. And by this Sunday afternoon, everybody was doing it and everybody was having success. So it was that's where the online training was born from. Because I promised everybody in the room, I said, I'll figure out how to do an online training. And then that will be part of your package of what you purchased with us this weekend. And again, I didn't know how to use computers. I owned a gymnastics club. I bounced around with 4-year-olds. Like I didn't know course creation or any of that kind of stuff. But I did. I sat down and by the time this all kind of happened now around 2017, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm putting together an online training. And I did. And it's still there, and people are learning from it all the time. And you really do learn how to do this from the online training. So this has just been the coolest detour or journey, course correction, or whatever it is of my life, because this has been absolutely a pleasure to be sharing this technique with the world. So yeah. And again, through your platform, I thank you again for allowing me and inviting me to your platform and to your listeners. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I just love hearing different ways to, heal from, many people from around the world, because everyone has their own definition and their own way of healing. And healing is so important in the world today because there's so many people holding in trauma, from mostly it all
Mhm.
extends from childhood, pretty much. Everybody's story begins
Yeah,
from childhood. And a lot of people don't have an outlet on how to let that go. And then,
right.
that's why, people lash out on people. They're very angry. They want to fight all the time. So I just love to share different techniques for people out there
Mhm.
to try and use. And some people are comfortable being unhealed. I don't know why, but some people, I don't know if they feel like, if they stay unhealed, they'll get more attention. I'm not sure. Um, but
Mhm.
healing for me has been the best, and I'm still in the healing process. Healing is no time frame on healing. Um,
That's right.
the traumatic events that I've gone through for probably about 7 years straight. In 2017, I finally got to a place where I could really start my healing journey.
Mm.
And it's
Excellent.
been beautiful. It's been beautiful.
Hmm.
Been
Yeah,
beautiful.
and the healing journey is not for the weak. That's for sure. Like it is a hard road, but it's worth it.
Hmm.
And yeah, and I honor anyone that is choosing the healing path because it's not an easy one. Yeah, but
Right.
it's good. It's worth it. Yeah.
It is. It is. So I'd like to ask you, like I said, everyone has a story. Where did your story begin? Who is Stacy? Let the listeners know,
Okay.
when did how was, your early life, and did you go through any type of trauma, and how did you deal with that with healing?
Yeah, sure. Okay, great. So I was born into a family of excellence, high achievers, very open-minded, very progressive, very supportive, always challenged to do better, to think bigger, to what more could we do, that kind of thing. Two
Mhm,
parents in high level of service to athletes and their sports at the
mhm,
Olympic level, national, well, actually grassroots, national, and then international level. So, yeah, just level of commitment, discipline, all those kinds of things. I was actually an athlete myself in gymnastics. So, again, just very disciplined, very focused,
mhm,
beautiful schooling. I was very blessed and really blessed. And then I had a career in with the Olympic Games. So, again, traveled all over the world, surrounded by incredible high vibrational people, very focused. And then around the age of 33, life was pretty fantastic. I had been with the same person since I had been 21. So, like, we had been together a very long time at this point.
mhm,
And my life was great. And then this particular night in November of 2002,
mhm,
it all changed. Trauma. There was an accident like on our property, and everything went sideways that night. And how I explain it is the only way to explain it is like hell came screaming in, and I could hear it. I could feel it. I didn't know what had happened. I
mhm,
couldn't make sense of anything. I had no tools to navigate my way through such hell, and terrifying and scary stuff for me. I mean, we all have our own experiences, and many people have gone through much, much worse than me, and are less affected. But this knocked me off my axis this particular night, and it's
mhm,
taken me 20 years to get back on my axis and to find myself again through navigating through all of that fear and all of the anxiety and terror that
mhm,
came out of that night, and the loss, the magnitude of loss of that night was huge, and it kept going. It's not only it's almost like once you're knocked off your axis, to stop that snowball. is almost impossible. And I think many people's journeys are like that. It's like life's fine, and then bam, or they were born into the high level of trauma and chaos. So they're trying to find their a new axis. They're trying to find their natural state of just peace and calmness, and that kind of thing. I know I was looking for that. Was the way that I explained it is I just want me back. I just want me back. Like, where is me?
Right.
Confident. It can't be rattled. Like, loving, like gushy lovey. Like, where's that girl? And because basically I had become this very scared, nervous, really like just trying to cope through the moment versus thinking big and global and in service to the world kind of thing. So I had about 6 really rocky years, and in those 6 years, there was again the loss. It just was more loss and more chaos and more nervous, and yet on the outside, I looked fine. I looked like I was just fine, but on the inside, I was absolutely falling apart. The way that I kind of look back on it, it's like I was in pieces, and every day I just kind of tried to super glue that back together, and by the end of the day, I was all in pieces again. And just trying to cope through every moment without crying or panicking or whatever it was. I was scared of everything. But the world didn't know. I owned a gymnastics club, like I said. I went to work 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. I was a mom at that point of a 5-year-old. My marriage had fallen apart. Like, it was just like, holy cow, like my foundation was gone. And about I'll never forget this night. It was New Year's Eve, and it was about 30 days, or I'd got 20 years of being together. And I was reading this book called Ramtha. And as I'm reading, I was kind of like, 2 or 3 pages left, and it's New Year's Eve. And I've got, the 5-year-old sleeping in the next room, and tears are coming down my face. And the book was talking about how there's going to be people coming to this planet that are going to have healing modalities or have help that's going to be able to help the world through this chaos, this time of chaos on the planet and that kind of thing. And I remember thinking, as I'm reading these last couple of pages, this is the last book I'm ever going to read. Like, I'm done. I don't know how to put myself back together. Like, I just don't have it in me anymore to just keep trying. Like, this is just too hard. And then I read this last paragraph in the book about, people coming. There's going to be people coming to the planet that are going to be able to help us. And I remember kind of like doing one of these, saying, send me one of those people. Please send me one of those people. And 45 days later, I was sent one of those people. And it was Daniel, who had this technique that the first time I tried it, it helped me. Profoundly helped me. And it changed my life so much that I shot my mouth off and said, I'm going to figure out what you just did, and I'm going to teach the world how to do this. And that changed my direction of my life completely, because I started to, of course, I became, Daniel and I became friends, and I saw him all the time, and he did this work with me all the time. I had a lot to work through. I had a lot to navigate through, a lot of fears to work through, all those kinds of things. And he used this technique with me, and it worked. Like, I'm proof that it worked. And I was able to leave my trauma where it belonged, in the past. It didn't bother me and doesn't bother me in my day now, or years ago, as it started to eliminate from my life and my physical body and my unconscious mind. And so I am not only honored, but dedicated the last 15 years of my life to figuring out what he did and teaching the world how to do this. And that's what the Fix Code is. It's the technique that Daniel did with me that I'm sharing with the world, because it's really profound, and it helps everybody. Like, anybody that wants help, this works. So yeah, and from there, um, you know, I get to do this
Mm-hmm.
every day. I get to help people in my private practice. I get to do uh, for all of your viewers. Please feel free to go to the website, our website, and click the button for a complimentary session. Like, try this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's
Now,
we're here to support you, to help people.
where can they find you, like on any social media? Can you leave that information? And I can also put it down below in the interview here too, so they can check it out.
Sure. And it's just thefixcode.com.
Okay.
And then you can navigate your way through the website, and there's lots of really fun things there that you can do for free. There's a 5-day virtual summit, which is called Trauma to Triumph. You
Mm-hmm.
can join that and learn more about us. You can click the button for a complimentary session. There's an entire team. Sometimes there's just me up there. Sometimes there's an entire team, depending
Mm-hmm.
on what promotions we're doing and that kind of thing. So yeah, book a session and try this and feel it for yourself, because it's pretty magical. It's pretty cool.
Okay, awesome, awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing the fixed code with the listeners, with Healing is Power, with me. Is there anything right now that comes to your spirit that you want to share with the listeners? Anything, just anything.
Yeah, know that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
That there's people like me and our team that are here to support and help you through whatever you're going through in the moment. And
Mm-hmm.
please lean on us. Please reach out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if we could come and find you, we would. We would. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, you're not alone. There is an entire team, my team, that is here, that will help. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you so much. And again, thank you for being on Healing is Power. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing the fixed code. And I pray that it touches, my listeners or just anybody, just passing through. Again, healing is so important and we need it in this day and age for sure.
Thank you so much for inviting me into your platform and into your listeners. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, again, you guys can find Healing is Power on the following platforms. Of course, YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, and Amazon Music. Stacy, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Take care.